All right. First timer, Jim here. First time. Oh, now we're live. Okay. So I am for the first time doing a YouTube video, and I am a little nervous. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I think it's kind of fun. I'm just going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff. And what's really great is I have somebody that's very well known in the YouTube-averse, and that would be Redneck Economics, aka Stevie. Hey Stevie, welcome. How you doing? Can I see you? Let's
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so we're just doing our live. I've never done this before. It's so funny. All right, so what I did a video earlier, and what I was talking about earlier when I did it, I tried to do a video, put it together, and it was basically about the attitude of where everybody's head is at. And I'm seeing a lot of friction even within the progressives and within even small groups. I mean, it's so volatile right now. There's so much anger, there's so much resentment, there's so much built up hostility that I find people venting on the wrong people. I mean, they're like loaded guns, you know, just, you said there was something wrong with my hair, you know, and they shoot you. You know, there's just very touchy-feely and a lot of things out there. So what I'm trying to do is just get back on track in regards to what we want to talk about. And I think the biggest thing I always like to talk about, you know me, I'm like, I'm kind of, I look like Maui, but I think like Moana. You know what I mean? So I'm all about saving the earth, our Mother Earth, or Stevie, or you know, and all of its inhabitants. And I know you're with me on that. So thank you for helping me with this, Guru, Fantastico, Stevie Redneck Economics. What's up, girl?
Yeah, that I know that. Hold on, I think I got some feedback.
Oh. Okay, she's getting some feedback. Okay, so is it like feedback, bad feedback, or is it good feedback? Oh, like feedback. Are you watching the live chat? Is there people on our live chat? No. Yes? Can you, I don't know if you can raise your hand on here. Yes. How do you watch the chat? I'm going to watch. Can you watch the chat? Oh, there's the chat. Okay. So how can I send this? And sorry, everyone, I'm new to this. So I'm a Joey, completely and totally a Joey at this right now. So I'm going to say aloha, howdy and aloha, because I like saying howdy and aloha. And aloha in the chat. And then I'm going to post it on Twitter. But I don't know what to post on Twitter. Is there anything I need to grab, or can you go to my YouTube and find it?
Yeah, it's on your YouTube. And do you have your speakers on YouTube or anything?
I have speakers on. That's correct.
Do you have the stream playing through the? I mean, can you hear the? Do you have something playing?
It's not on YouTube. I just can hear you through my speakers.
Okay. Well, I don't hear it now anyway, so that's better.
So we're good?
Yep.
You seem so excited. Aren't you excited? I'm excited.
I'm very excited, but I've had a very long day with mow the lawn and just basically was kicking ass, you know.
Kicking ass, mow the lawn. Love it. All right, so where do I grab the live stream? Where do I grab this?
If you go to your page, you should see it. I shared it on Twitter.
Oh, you did share it on Twitter? Can you share it on my Facebook? If you have you have my Facebook, right? All right, let me go back to where we're at. Where the hell are we? Okay. All right, so planet and inhabitants. I know it's a pretty general term. Um, I think the mindset, what I was looking for in regards to people out there that are going to be running for office as a judiciary, like a judge, or a legislator, maybe a representative, or a Senate member or something like that, or even an executive. I think the mindset we need to know that they have is that they want to save the planet, is that they want to save on all of its inhabitants. I mean, we're shedding animals that are dying off and becoming more extinct within the past like 100 years faster than anything that's ever happened. I mean, there's a natural process to way animals kind of evolve and de-evolve, and but because we're de-evolving as humans and the way we're treating our planet, we're losing a lot of people out there. But I think the core substance or the soul of a candidate should have that empathy and that care that they should have for not just the planet, but for its people and all of its inhabitants. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to trust your gut. When somebody, we know the policies that we want basically, and you can tell when somebody's bullshitting you. I mean, if you ask them, oh, do you think, should we have single payer? And they say, well, I believe in the concept. And I mean, you just know, especially like with these laws, and they have the Orwellian names, they have these dead giveaways that, just signal that they don't believe anything that they're telling you. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton, Cory Booker. I mean, they don't have the track record. They don't have the charisma. I mean, you can just tell that most of the time you can tell when they're full of it. But there's other instances, like I think it was in Boston, where this woman, she did grassroots, campaigning, said all the right things. I mean, she was good. And she said she was going to pay everybody, like the 15 minimum wage. And as soon as she got in office, she's like, well, we can't do that because, people lose jobs or some crap. I mean, she totally just backtracked on that. So, I mean, sometimes people are sneakier, but most of the time, just trust your gut. You can tell when people are just full of it.
It's like you can read them. You can almost see it in their face. They get all, well, I really truly believe that, and they get into this robotic, ultra professional performance that is somebody that you'd see at a board meeting in a conference room at some billion-dollar company. But in regards to the single payer, the Humanist Report, I always forget that guy's name. Okay.
Mike Figueredo.
Mike Figueredo, he's fantastic. He had I think it was either today or yesterday, where he pointed out all of the Democrats, and there were plenty of them in regards to single payer, that were not for single payer. And it was just, and I was just surprised on how many. And the list could have gone on and on and on with all these supposed wannabe progressive liberal Democrats that they say care about people. And it's just such a farce. I mean, the amount of people that were on, and these are, Feinstein and Booker and just the list goes on and on and on all these people. And these are people that are supposed to be taking care of us. These are people that in the past many voted for to take care of us, and they don't have that core value that I'm talking about, where their greed and their money and their connections and their power outweigh that core of caring about people. Because single payer is an easy process. Single payer could easily be done. I know there's lots of hoopla about where's the money going to come from. How about a $56 billion a year budget for the military? that goes to the military industrial complex. That's a piece. How about the money that comes from, that goes to offshore Cayman Island accounts and Swiss bank accounts through lots of millionaire legislators and executives now. I mean, we've had more newly built political leaders that have become millionaires faster than it's ever happened in the history of our country. And this money is, we know who's getting this money, and we know where this money is coming from. It's not just about getting your political donation for your campaign. There's money being moved around all the time. And that's the sad part about it. And, you know, that's why Citizens United is stupid. And McCutcheon versus the FEC is a stupid ass fucking thing as well. But in all, it's just these people don't give a shit. They don't have that core belief I'm talking about.
I mean, you can see, I mean, look at, I know I pick on Joe Manchin a lot, but he's just a really good example of just skating by, you know. I mean, he did maybe a few good things back in the day, and then, you know, he's coasting on it, and he's just everything that's corrupt. I mean, you know, he wants to sit there and talk about how much he loves the miners, but when it comes to healthcare, he doesn't want to give them healthcare. When you saw in the TYT interview, when he was asked about it, he's like, well, I have to look into it. Like it was some kind of new concept, like he's never heard of, you know, universal healthcare or anything like that. You know, he wants to play dumb. Oh, well, I didn't know who my donors are. I mean, it's the same thing. They're all bought. I mean, they're like a gangrenous foot, right? I mean, it sucks to have to get something amputated, but you're just going to have to amputate that, or else it's going to infect the rest of your body and kill off the whole organism. So, I mean, it's just, we got to get these people out. And it's not like one at a time or get rid of this person or that. I mean, we have to just totally cut that cancer out of our government. I mean, it's not government that's the problem. It's politics. And there's a difference. You know, government actually, when the way that it's set up, I mean, it's a slow process, but it's one that works. It's just that we have people now that work against government and sabotage it and all this other stuff. So, you know, it's all, hopefully it's a train wreck. I don't know. I'm just ranting.
You know, I got to say, Stevie, your redneck economics opinion is very valued. And when you say, I don't know, I'm telling you, you know, and it's impressive. So, yeah, Joe Manchin definitely skated that question on TYT. Well, they set him up to let him skate. And the thing about Cenk Uygur is he didn't attack him on it. He just
I think you mean Jinx.
Oh, Jinx, yeah, Jinx, whatever, Spanks, whatever. He didn't come back and go, wait a second. You didn't really answer that question thoroughly. You know, he just let it slide. Like all the mainstream media lets these people slide because they're all in the same loop. That's the biggest issue. They're all in the same loop, getting paid all this money, and they have a price, and they've dictated what their price is, fame and fortune. And for so many people out there that don't have health care, that are paying, like I've showed you guys, I got some work done and then I owe thousands of dollars. I'm like, what? You know, and I'm not the only one. And people are going bankrupt because of all these medical bills, but Big Pharma is making an EpiPen for $1 billion, you know, and it's just, it's so insane that we have to continue to let these people keep going. And yes, we need to amputate for sure. This is, you know, and we need to put on like a Green New Deal kind of foot on our government, you know, and then we need to put a single payer arm on that, you know, and just reconstruct our current government. The government's set up now in a way that's not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, as they've kind of created laws and to make it a little tougher for John Average Man to get what he needs and what he's supposed to get as a citizen, as a voting citizen of the United States Republic, which people need to know what that really means. But I think most importantly is we got a clean house. I'm both sides. That's what you're saying, and that makes so much sense. But who are you going to fill that void with? I mean, are you going to fill more people that think in the same direction or are kind of connected to that? Because I keep hearing, here's a good example. So Kamala Harris is jumping on the single payer bandwagon, right? And she's all, oh, now I'm there. And of course, Cory Booker's now with him. Everybody's jumping on this bill that probably won't pass. And I do understand that it'll at least present all the people that won't vote for it, which definitely will be all the Republicans, of course. But I don't think if they were to bring it up in Congress right now, I don't believe a single Democrat would say no. They're trying to save face. This could be a bill just to save face for the Democratic Party. So everybody would go, don't vote no. I don't care what, just don't vote no. We need to keep we need to give these sheeple, these people, these voting republic, the perception or the idea that we really care about them. I'm getting the feeling that that's what this could be for. So then they can say, well, none of us voted against it. We all voted for it. So the Democratic Party is here for you. And then when it comes time when they actually do have enough seats and they actually do have enough people, then you'll finally find out who the real shitheads are, or I call them the sacrificial lambs. But yeah, they like I said, core people, the core principle is it's either you care about planet and people, or your money or your mansion or your yacht or your clothing or whatever else, your 50,000 pairs of shoes are more important. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. So in regards, so we've kind of covered that. Do you have any more on that, by the way?
I mean, just basically, you can't reason. The only thing these people care about is money. So, I mean, that's the language you have to speak with them. I mean, if you're going to get them to listen, if you're going to get them to actually change their ways, I'd like to see that happen, but that would take so long and just to get everybody, to switch the opinions of these politicians, it would be just better just to replace them altogether. I mean, I know that there's going to be some people that it's going to be super hard to get them out of office, but I mean, like Elizabeth Warren, like I really don't want to see her in office anymore. I think we can do better than that, than somebody that is spineless and will, sell whole state out just so she can make nice with a coworker, So, but she's got somewhat of a track record to where, people will still vote for her. She's got the name recognition. So people like her are going to be harder to get out of office. And, honestly, they're probably more toxic because they have that veil of, I'm on your side, to hide under. But I mean, I think if we get if we even get a majority of these people out, or even half of them out, it would scare the rest of them enough to hopefully, they would just kind of take their money and, flee the ship, basically. I don't know. I hope. I don't know. I'm very optimistic when it comes to stuff. I don't know. So I think it's going to work out. I think that it's hard, but if we all just keep at it and we all just kind of chip away at these people, we can win. And it's not impossible. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but the biggest thing is we just stay on them.
So here's the thing that I brought up in my video earlier that I haven't even posted on Facebook yet because I am still editing it, trying to make it look all pretty and professional, which I don't think anybody really gives a shit about, and this is important because we do want to get rid of the fungi, we do want to get rid of the diseases, We do want to get rid of those that blatantly have been corrupted, and that are, you know, just not doing it for the voting republic that voted for them. So how do we replace them? The biggest thing is there are the Justice Democrats, that guy Dana Carr, whatever his name is, trying to bring the People's Party around. But I always bring this up, and the reason why I do it, because it probably makes the most sense in our current climate, is that there is a party out there, and it's called the Green Party. They're not very organized, and the reason why is because basically they're poor. They don't have 5-6 figure people running major advertising and marketing ads. They don't have, you know, a giant network of people already established that are not just doing it voluntarily, but they're making money and they're getting promised positions. Excuse me, little cold. And it's the same thing on the Republican side. These are giant monsters, giant, humongous monsters. And yes, money does matter, because when you have that kind of endless amount of money, you can put it and direct it and shove it and put it in a pocket here. You can put it in a bank there. You can do a transaction here or there and make people do things that you want. The Green Party doesn't have that. Oh, excuse me. I really got to get rid of this damn cough. I've had it for a week. So all the Green Party has is people that believe in no more war. They want the Green New Deal. They want single payer. They want $15 an hour. I told them they need to do 17, because by the time 15 comes, you know, by the time 15 comes around in like 2025, it's not going to be enough for shit.
Now, see, I'm radical on this. I believe that we should ask for at least 20 or 25. I mean, 15 in most places. I mean, you're talking about $15 an hour in New York City or in California. That's not anything. Now, $15 here would get you a lot farther. But I mean, if you're talking about, you know, somebody that's on their own, if they're not, you know, if they don't have a partner, or if they're not living with their family, $15 is still kind of hard to get by even here. So, I mean, and especially by the time it goes through, yeah, we should definitely ask for something 20, 25 at least. Hell, they can afford it, you know?
Oh, yeah, they can definitely afford it. We've got, I mean, minimum wage hasn't correctively gone up with inflation and the gross domestic product and all this other stuff since the 70s, the early 70s, which is really sad. So it's tapered off. So you've got this inequality, and everybody knows about it. People at the high end of the pyramid, I call it, have been making a giant sums of money, while people down below have been, you know, living or barely living at all, or doing nothing, or getting nothing. But in regards to those people that are out there that want that $15 an hour, or want that 17, or want that $20 an hour, wherever it should be, they're not going to see it from the Republicans anytime soon, ever in the history of their lives, if they keep going in that direction. The Democrats are going to say they're going to do something, but they usually don't, and they just appease you with like another 50-cent bump or a dollar bump. When Obama came out with, when everybody was screaming for 15 and Obama came out with 11, I was like, what the fuck, are you, an idiot?
Yeah, I mean, see, this is why. Okay, when we talk about what the government is doing to us, what do? They attack us at our basic level of needs. They attack our housing, our jobs, our health care. You know, as far as like food and stuff goes, you know, it's you know, most people can't afford food, or, you know, well, a lot of people can't. And, you know, the people that can't afford to, you know, buy the stuff, like the actual stuff that they should be eating. So it's just like, you know, they attack that lizard part of your brain, the survival part. I know Jamal did a video about I think it was the hierarchy of needs, where you know, there's like there's a list of things that a human being needs, you know, shelter, food, water. I mean, you know, they're attacking the water. So this is how they keep us distracted, and they keep us in like this primal, you know, this is how you have to think, and that's what we got to do to them. I mean, I've said it before when it comes to these, like the physics of it. Okay, work is time. What is it? Work power is equal to work, and then something to do with time. But time is equal to money. So you just substitute however much money these people have into the equation, and then you can factor how much power these people have. Because with the more money you can buy, especially with as cheap as labor is, or free, you know, like basically with prison, I mean, these people can hire other people. So they have infinite time. They can just keep buying people, desperate people, to do their work. And you know, I mean, we're gonna have to. I'm talking about stop buying shit from these people. We're gonna have to talk about like major strikes. We're gonna have to vote against these people, and the people that are running have to run on a platform of you know, election reform, because it's so screwed. That's why half the country doesn't vote, is because they feel powerless, that their vote doesn't matter. I guarantee you, if they thought that their vote mattered, they would be there. Most of them would. Now, I know a lot of people have work and stuff like that, kids that, you know, of course, you know, it's rigged that way. That's why it needs to be election reform. Exactly what Bernie did with healthcare, we need somebody to do with election reform. Somebody that's going to get people pissed off enough about it to where that's going to be our litmus test. We're not going to vote for people that, you know, are going to keep playing by the same rules that are rigged against us. So, I mean, we need people running the Republican Party. We need people running the Democrat Party. I mean, we got to hit them, keep them busy. I mean, we got to go Super Saiyan, you know, no holding back. We got to go to extremes, except I don't believe in violence.
Okay, are you saying you want us to do a Kamehameha? Is that what you want, like Super Saiyan Kamehameha?
Hold on, I got Eli's coughing. I'm going to go check on him.
Still in. She's got to check on her kids. That's important. I can't really see. Let me see if I can see the chat and see what's going on, because I've never done this before. So, oh shit, there's people chatting. Oh my God, I didn't even know that. I feel stupid and ridiculous. All right. Okay, so wait a second. There it is. Kids are a normal part of life. Yes, all good. Hey, James. Hey, Eric. What's up, bro? Anyway, so I'm going to get back to me just discussing, and I hope Eli's okay. I think that's his name. And here it is. So I was going in a direction. You guys know what direction I was going in. You know the direction. Okay, you got two giant monolithical, huge monsters out there, right, that are gigantic and enormous, and they have lots of power, lots of pull. They got lots of influence, and that's because they built this for a long time. It's been two parties in this country for far too long. So there is only one party right now that's poised, that has a great majority of states that you can vote for them. But they're in a pickle, not a pickle. They usually get into a pickle, but it's tough for them because the rules are bent I would say the rules are in favor of the two bullies, you know, the Dumbocrats and the Republicans, and then the Green Party, I said, is that geeky kid that they keep picking on. It just keeps getting pushed down and thrown in trash cans and a whole nine yards. But I think if you can find some Republicans and maybe some even Democrats, not Democrats and Republicans, that would accept bringing in a third party, that would be more in favor of bringing a third party into the conversation, into the realm of the two-party oligarchy that we do have now. I think that would be huge. I think that's a huge point that we definitely and absolutely need to ask that question. Because that's really the only way we're going to have a check, another person to checking themselves before they wreck themselves. You know, they're checking themselves before they wreck themselves. So if you have three parties, you know, one will say, you know, two can go against one, but all it takes is a little something from that one to get the other one back where they need it to be. But at least it wouldn't be, the collusion wouldn't be that easy when these guys are doing all their deals out on the golf courses and in the back rooms and rubbing elbows and drinking cocktails and, you know, and stuff like that. So I think the big question is definitely we should have a candidate or candidates that, I mean, that's a great question. Of course, do you accept single payer? Yeah. Do you want infrastructure space? Yeah. Do you want tuition-free college? Yeah. Do you want the wars to go away? Yeah. Do you want to stop creating terrorist wars? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Do you want to, what's the other one? You know, I'm going to ask the chat. They'll probably give me, I know I've got some. To retire, to just, okay. And there's a few more out there. You're like, okay, what is another one? You know, get rid of McCutcheon versus the FEC. Get rid of get rid of right to work. That's fucking stupid. You know, I'm not big on what is that assault thing with Trayvon Martin, where it's okay that you shoot somebody if you're pissed off at them. Somebody will get that to me in the chat, I'm hoping, pretty soon.
No, that is a horrible law. I mean, that's basically, if you have the money to buy a gun, you have more rights than somebody that can't. I mean, and I mean, I personally, you know, I like shooting guns. I don't own a gun, but, you know, that's pretty crappy that if, you know, somebody can judge you and look at you and say, oh, I think you might be a danger, I'm going to shoot you, that they can get off scot-free for it just because they have a gun. I mean, it's crazy.
That's a stand your ground law, and I want to thank our very witty and wonderful Forsaken and Christian and Dark Electrohead and pretty much everybody but me. Just throwing a blank there. Like I said, I got file monkeys inside of my head, and some of them are working, and I think right now they're on break. Okay, I got 3 of them: the morning shift, the swing shift, and the graveyard shift. So the swing shift guy is probably eating dinner right now, you know, having a couple of bananas. So yeah, stand your ground. I mean, there's so many different things that we need these politicians to do, but I think something that would be huge for this nation is getting them to support a third party to come in and just mix it up a little bit, because the two-party oligarchy has been running the show for a long time, you know, and it's something that definitely must and should change. And the only way to do it is to bring in a third party. But I am not big on Justice Democrats. I'm sorry. Just, I think they're just, if you've ever been in a cattle run if you've ever been to like, and I used to get some stuff from Altadena Dairy Farm, and then I used to live by a dairy farm here in Huntington Beach. In Surf City, it was on Bolshevika and Warner, or Heil and Bolshevika. Some of you may know this. In Huntington Beach, there was a dairy farm. And when I was a kid, we used to go cow tipping. And cow tipping is like something you only do in Texas or Wyoming. No, we used to do cow tipping in Huntington Beach, California. Okay, when they're sleeping, you tip them over. I know it's bad, animal rights, sorry, but we were kids. But they used to herd the cattle inside of these they look like gate funnels, and they'd herd them all in to where they'd go and turn into McDonald's hamburgers. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's just the way it works. But that's what I feel that Bernie has become. That's what I feel a lot of pretty strong progressives have become, is they can't so-called democratic progressives or so-called socialist progressives, you know, and I'm not talking about, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't get mad at me, Stevie, but Nina Turner may be in that realm, but I think when it comes down to it, I think she has soul. I think she has heart. I think she wants the inhabitants of the planet to flourish and grow and evolve. You know, I think she really wants our planet to survive. She's got kids. These people care. I think she's one of those for sure. And Paula Dean for sure. I think she's right there as well. There are some Democrats that really want to get rid of these shitheads, but they need to expose themselves and say, hey, I would love to have another party here to keep us in check. You know, I'm not afraid. I'll you know, if the Green Party wants to come in and start laying out what the voting republic really wants and needs, per all the freaking polls that we've had, what is it, 70? I think we're at like 61% of the country wants us at single payer or universal medical for all or something. You know, and 71% of the world wants us to get out of all these wars. I mean, but the Green Party, like I'm saying, is kind of the. I'm not. Look, I am just saying this right now. If we don't bring in a third party and you keep continuing to let these two parties continue to do what they've been doing over and over and over again, it's just gonna fucking continue, man. It's just gonna fucking continue. And I'm done with these two fucking parties because I've been a Republican. Ask Steve Grambine. I've been a Republican, you know, and he was a Republican too, until some black guy or half black guy got up and started talking, and I think it was a representative or senator at the time, and just started saying all the stuff I wanted to hear, and just sold it. He was a better salesman than Clinton. Clinton was fucking pretty good with the tip of his devil's tongue, but and so was his intern. Anyway, the biggest thing is I think that's going to really make a huge difference. I think the big question is, do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in this? But do you want to see a third party? Are you okay with having a third party? Do you think this country is ready for a third party? I think that's a legitimate, huge question we need to ask every candidate that's running right now. I think that's just a big fucking question, in my opinion.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with the Green Party. They've kind of gotten this reputation, and I don't know. I don't really want to fault them too much because, I mean, they were having all these, you know, Republicans and Democrats coming after them to change the narrative. It's not like they have any power really, you know, with media or anything. But, I mean, they've got this reputation for being like the vegan, PETA protesters, you know, and it's just, and the thing is, you know, I was watching that I think it was the New Zealand debate where they were talking about, oh crap, I lost it. I lost my train of thought completely. What was I saying before New Zealand? What did I say before New Zealand?
That's okay. You were talking about, you know, I lost it because I was typing. We're not perfect at this. This is not perfect, but it's gonna come to us, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. My brain just totally short wired. It was just like gone.
You have file monkeys, or see, I have file monkeys because I'm like a big gorilla, you know. And then do you have like a form of gathering information in your head? Are they like fairies, or are they like horses, or what do you think what would you
Yeah, I have a chalkboard. Basically, that's how I organize my thoughts, and so I'll write it down on this chalkboard in my head. But then, you know, I erase the chalkboard, and then I totally freaking forget everything, like just now.
you kind of like brush up against it accidentally, and then stuff disappears. That happens. I think everybody's got their own way of my retention level is terrible. But what I'm seeing on the chat, if you can read it, is I've got Forsaken gave me some.
Oh, the Green Party. That's what it was. Okay, before I forget. Yeah, I mean, but the Green Party has that reputation. But here's the thing. You know how many of these rednecks out here love hunting and fishing and, you know, hiking. We have all this, you know, tourism when it comes to whitewater rafting. You can't whitewater raft in an orange river because of the toxic runoff from mountaintop removal. You know, you can't go and fish and bring home, you know, a fish, you know, fish for your kids to eat when the ponds are polluted and the fish still have like 3 eyes and a leg. You know, like that's not, we can't even enjoy our outdoors anymore. I mean, they've taken our jobs, they've taken our money, they've taken our houses, and it's just like, where is the line? You know, but here's the thing. It's like these people should be voting Green Party, but it's because of that reputation and that stigma of, you know, they don't think that that party has anything to offer them. They think that party is going to take away everything that they want, you know, or that they need, because I know that they blamed environmentalists for the death of coal when it had nothing to do with that. It was Obama's love of fracking and Hillary going around and selling fracking to the world that killed coal. You know, it had nothing to do with Obama loved the environment so much he killed coal with regulations. I mean, but that's what people think because of the, you know, the media. But, you know, I think that here's the thing. I can't point to anything in the past because I said everybody wants to say, well, we've already tried that. It didn't work. Well, we didn't have the internet, you know, back then. And now, you know, most people, everybody's grandma has a Facebook, you know, maybe not Twitter, but everybody has a Facebook, whether they use it or not. But we need to utilize Twitter and Facebook because most young people have gravitated towards Twitter. Whereas I guess the older generation probably still uses Facebook because, you know, they're still watching, you know, TV and they don't know that, you know, how disgusting Facebook's privacy policies are. So, you know, I mean, that's just my experience here, but it could be regional, you know.
Look, the reason why I go on Facebook is because I have 4,772 Facebook friends. Anyway, yeah, you're right. The Facebook is you won't see many teenagers on there, and if you do see a teenager on there or somebody that's younger than like 35, you got to be careful because they're usually sending you selfies of their DNA, just letting you know that happens a lot on there. But there is some information. There's a lot of people that do get their information from Facebook. It doesn't mean it's perfect or it's right. Like Evan Kimmy, make sure you do your resourcing. Make sure you do your reference checking. Make sure you check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself, which I think is important. Now, back to what we were discussing in regards to the perception, and that's interesting. So the perception of the Green Party is they've also been called the spoiler. And then the biggest thing is Forsaken said that it's going to be hard for the Green Party to come in because of the way it's set up for them. And I didn't read I just saw parts of it when she wrote it. But it's a tough road for any party. So my point again is if you have a few people, just a few that would on the left or on the right that would just stand up and say, you know, we need a third party, man. We've got to have a third party. Keep the other two parties in check. But if you get that out of any one of them that would actually stand up and say that, you know, it doesn't have to be green. It can be purple. It can be mauve. It can be teal. How do I even know what mauve and teal is? It's very strange. That's very strange. Anyway, but the thing is whatever color that's out there, whatever party, the donkey party, the whale party, I thought we should have called something the buffalo party. I thought the buffalo party would be cool, man, because, Native American kind of stuff. But anyway, if you can get a few of them just to stand up and try to get a third party in, that would change the dynamics of both of these parties. Then that means you could amputate. That means you could cut off a thing or a tooth or a claw from one of these monsters, and replace it with a kitten's paw or a mitten or something like that. But I think that's something that we definitely need to ask them, because, like I said, the Green Party right now is totally for pretty much everything we want. I mean, I don't see anything that they don't want. The only thing that I ever get from people about the Green Party is that they're disorganized and they're not, they're kind of all over the place, and they just don't, they don't really have they don't get the exposure. And then my argument to that, it's a simple answer. They're fucking broke. They don't have anything. They don't have nothing. They have, it's like let's just say Stevie had $1 billion, right? And I had $100. Okay, that's the difference. And Stevie, I hope you win a giant jackpot of money sometime, so you have $1 billion. But just remember that I kind of put that mana out there. I put that I planted that seed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm just saying it's just hard for a third party to come around, not just because of the rules, not just because of the way they have it set up. I mean, in order for the polls, and who controls the polls? Who really controls all the polls? The media. I mean, I've seen media polls that have been wrong. I've seen them come straight out of some of the polling that's happened with a lot of papers, and then you see it go on Fox, and then you see it go on MSNBC, and then you see it go on CNN, and the numbers are fucking wrong, and the numbers are different. So the media can distort and turn and torque and twist and confuse and redirect. They're just crafty fuckers, man. So it's a very huge, gigantic K2 Mount Everest type battle. I think, what are they at that? 15% of the polling in order to be in the debate. Some countries are okay with 4% in order for another party to come aboard. So everybody can talk about everything they want, whenever they want. But if it's going through any of these two parties that aren't being checked, I think it's just going to be the same old, same old. I mean, yeah, let's go out and fight. Let's go out and petition. Let's call our congressmen. Let's call our reps. Let's call our executives. Let's get out there and do those things, and threaten that we're not going to vote for them. But the next person that comes up that you're not voting for, you're going to, is still on the same teams. They're still together. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get across is, this is, what is that? They're like salamanders. Is it a salamander when you cut off a limb or something, it grows back?
Yeah, it can regenerate its tail, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, I think it was Percy Jackson. Anybody watch Percy Jackson? Okay, anybody read those books? Percy Jackson? Okay. Well, my son read them, and we used to watch them all the time. But you'd cut off a head of this giant serpent, and two heads would grow back. And that's kind of what I see with our two-party oligarchy. What I'd like to see is a third head come up that's green, and that would just make these guys think. I mean, Stevie, do you think a third party would make them listen at all, or do you think I'm just stupid? Do you think this?
No. Listen, okay. Did you get to watch the New Zealand debate where it had all the different parties and they got to talk about their ideas for what to do?
No, I wish I should have. It was
so fascinating because you have all these parties and they all had something. I'm like, oh, that sounds good, because they couldn't hide behind, well, they couldn't count on the fact that the other party is bought out. So, they're not going to mention anything so that, they could play it safe. Everybody was there basically competing for votes like they should. And they were talking about, I mean, just fantastic ideas and things that you would never, ever hear in our debates. I mean, they were asking about like the suicide rates of young people. They were asking about poverty. Poverty came up, climate change came up. It wasn't, uh, how much do you want to expand the military by? That's what we get in our debates. I mean, we so need a third party because right now they're working together to keep us in this equilibrium. Well, I can't even say that anymore. It used to be that's what it was. They were that's what their goal was, but now it's to take. So they're trying to slide everybody further and farther right, which means, you can't even use logic. You have to, keep everybody emotional, which means the media has to be totally just, it's this thing that, it has corrupted everything. I mean, it's corrupted our media. It's corrupted, our schools, everything. Everywhere you go, you can see the effects of it, whether it's you're working at Walmart and you're making or you're making $8 an hour when you should be making 20, or I mean, there's nothing that they haven't fucked up for everybody in this country, which is why I agree with Debbie that we need a revolution of the mind. People put up with far too much garbage. There's a scene from Network, I think, how with Howard Beale, and he's like, that was it. I've had enough bullshit. That was it. I just reached my maximum level of bullshit, and I just can't do anymore. And that's what Americans need to do, because it's not even just us that it's affected. It's affecting people in Mexico and China and Brazil and Venezuela and Syria. I mean, we run the world, and we have to take accountability for our own politicians. I mean, we have to be able to be active and realize that our lives suck, at least in part or a little bit for some, a whole lot for others, because we have a fucked up situation here. That's why I said, we need a maintenance crew. We need people to be watching, which is what the media should be doing, and watching these people and seeing when, something's starting to go wrong. If this part's starting to break down, it's not working like it should. These are all, we need simple diagnostic tests that we can run on these politicians and say, okay, well, everything's good here, but, over here, we've got something that's not working. We need to get that out of office, replace it with a new one. It's just not working anymore. So that's, I don't know. So, I haven't really been able to focus it. I mean, this is something that's been kind of in the back of my head for the past couple of weeks, and I haven't really fully fleshed it out yet, but it's just kind of, it's right there, and it's almost like a conscious thought now. I can almost put it together, but I don't
know. That's fucking perfect. So it's two-dimensional. It's like a pop-up book, when we should be at the level of our intellect and our technology. We should be at help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like a, what are those things called where it's like you're projecting a three-dimensional object. Fuck, what the hell is that? You know what? My file monkey's fucking up again. Somebody's gonna give it to me. Somebody's gonna give it to me. But anyway, yeah, we're so two-dimensional with the two parties. So when you have this, and Blake gave me the link or the words to Google, so I'm going to check that out. But when you have just two parties flipping back about the same fucking things and talking about the same fucking things, and then they want to talk about the same fucking things, and you can actually guess what they're going to say. That's what's so freaking interesting. No, what's so pathetic, it's not interesting, like Jamal says, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, Jamal's, it's not amazing, Jamal. Amazing is like a good thing sometimes. You have to say words like, that's ridiculously lame. It's ridiculously stupid. It's beyond being a buffoonism. You know,
I say crazy, and I know I say that way too much. That it's just crazy, but it really is. I mean, I don't know any other word for it. It's insanity. We're working against our own best interests. You know, we have people that would set the world on fire rather than, you know, be a millionaire instead of a billionaire. That's what they'd rather do. They would rather burn the whole planet down and every single living organism on its surface just so they can make a few extra bucks. I mean, that seems like insanity to me. So I say it a lot, but it's true. There's just a whole lot of stupid, crazy shit going on.
Yeah, I brought that point up a while back, I think, on After Hours and on one of our favorite shows, After Hours and Anything Goes. Anything Goes, but anyway, there are these people that exist, a handful of them, gazillionaires. They have so much fucking money. It's not even about money. It's just winning or losing to them. Money is really totally. They don't even touch money. It's all zeros or ones to them. And spreadsheets and shit like that, you know, and just trying to win. But these people have to think at some point, and I think this is important for them to know, that, and sometimes religion gets in the way with this. Sometimes the religion that, you know, it's the end of the world, 4 horsemen are coming, fuck it anyway, you know, Armageddon's coming, fuck it anyway, I'm just going to take what I can and run. Well, the 4 horsemen in Armageddon have been here and gone and here and gone for decades and centuries now. You know, it's the whole thing's a fucking farce. We dictate the future of our nation. But these people, and there's a few of them out there, that they don't see the concept, and there are some that do, that you kind of got to give back a little bit. You know, you kind of got to watch around you, because when you're sitting in that poolside or Pacific side bar drinking your Mai Tai in Tahiti, and then and you go out of your building and you show up in your plane, and all of a sudden there's a sign that says, do not enter the water, it's toxic and it's poisonous. Okay, that could happen. I mean, as far-fetched as that is, and as powerful and self-cleaning the ocean is, there are places in Japan, there are places in Malaysia, there are places even on the coast of California where they have warnings that you can't go out in the water. You know, a Doheny Beach is where I surf sometimes, and sometimes it's like the most polluted place, but the waves are fucking phenomenal. The problem is all the water from the runoff comes down and goes through there, so you've got, you know, everybody's pavement oil spills and crap like that. But what I'm saying is, when do they start to think how the way they feel is not just hurting them, it's not just hurting us, it's going to bounce back and hit them. But there's so many of them that they don't care. I mean, I know there's a few of them, kind of going a tangent here, but a few of them have purchased those, what are those, the mines where they go in and they have their sanctuaries where if there's like a bomb that goes off, it's
the bunkers
or the refuge and all that stuff. I know they think about that crap. And I know some of them have passes and tickets that cost $1 million to get into that stupid shit. But what is it going to matter when you have to live in that bunker after there's a nuclear holocaust? All it takes is a few coastal nuclear events like Fukushima, and all of our oceans will be completely and fully contaminated. And then it gets in the air, and then plumes of this stuff go everywhere. It's just they need. It's like they live in this bubble. They don't see it. They don't give a shit. That's what gets me the most about these people. They
See,
just don't care.
that's why I always equate it to addiction because I mean, at least that's how I understand it. Because where I used to be addicted to drugs, it was like, it made me do terrible things I would never do, in my right sober state of mind. I wasn't using logic. I couldn't see the wrong that I was doing. It was always like, it was always somebody else's fault. I mean, it was always somebody else's fault. And there was excuses and all this stuff. I mean, but these are the mind games that people play when they're doing something that's bad, but they have to justify it in their own heads. So that's how you end up with these politicians that you're just like, of course that's stupid. Why would you ever say that? Why would you do that? Why would you vote that way? But they can't help it. They can't help themselves. They need that money, in their addicted part of their brain. They think that they need that, but they really don't. But they have a problem. They have a serious, I mean, it's like they have a mental health problem that is far beyond even just addiction. I mean, screwed up. I mean, most of these people are born into money, like Donald Trump. I mean, these people never stood a chance. If you've never suffered, if nothing bad has ever happened to you, you've never had to suffer any consequences. That's how you end up with psychopaths that have an addiction to money. These are absolute sociopaths with addiction thrown in there. So this is like double toxic. These are really screwed up human beings. That's why you see them and they're talking, and you see Hillary, like, was at the DNC with the balloons, and she's just like, oh, it's not normal, because she's like, oh, this is my human face for joy, like, this is how humans look happy, right? Because she has no idea. She has no concept of that. Ted Cruz, it's, you see the same thing with him. It's like, oh, just look like a normal human being. And he's like, okay, this is how humans stand, right? Like, they don't know. They don't know. They've never had to be just normal, just relaxed, and just a human being talking to another human being that has the same interest, because they're fakers. They don't know how to fake sympathy and caring and compassion, because they've never witnessed it. You've never experienced it, I mean, they're just pretty much disgusting human beings all around.
That's such a perfect analogy and reference and everything to what's really happening out there. And I'm hearing it all through. I've got everybody saying it. God, everybody. They're addicted to power. I mean, I'm not saying I never. I've had problems with drugs in the past. I've had problems with alcohol. I think most of the people on this planet at some point have had an issue or a problem, or maybe have had one too many, or a little too many nights out. So if you think you're perfect, you're fucking not. I'm telling you, right? If you are, good for you. Good for you. But the thing is I know what that power feels like. When I played football, this is a physical power, and you feel like you're like that guy that I felt untouchable. At one point when I was playing ball in my senior year, I don't think there was really anybody except for a few on my team that could do what I could do. And I'm not, but there's a feeling that's like you feel like omnisciently powerful, and it's addictive because you like it and you want it, you want to be around it, and you keep wanting to have it. Well, same things with drugs, but the same thing with money and power. But this is a different money and power. When it comes to me just playing football, I'm not really hurting anybody except for the guy that's playing up against me. When it comes to addiction, you're pretty much just hurting yourself and maybe the people you love and they care about you. That's which is bad and heinous, of course. But you also have when you have this kind of power at such a high level, and their addiction to it takes them away from everything else. They lose complete and total track of because castles are built on hills. And the reason why castles are built on hills is so they can stay away from the people that are poor down below them.
So they could look down on us, literally.
So exactly. They look down at us and they don't have to see the people living in the streets, or they don't have to see the people that are having the problems. They're in a realm of high society, and I've seen it. I mean, I'm not far from Hollywood, and I think I brought that up before. I've been at parties in Bel Air and Beverly Hills and Newport Coast, which is, where Dean Koontz has his place still, and places in Costa de Casa where Kobe Bryant used to live, and Chuck Norris, I think, still lives there. And I've been to these beautiful, gigantic mansions, and we're talking not like 8 bedrooms, we're talking like 25 bedroom, 30 bedroom mansions that have their own movie theaters and their own bowling alleys. These people are so far gone. Most of them. I would say most of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but there's still a few that are somewhat down to earth. I've seen that. And there are a few millionaires out there that are pretty much down to earth. But when you get into the billionaire realm, I don't know. I think it's kind of hard for you to I don't think you can see anybody anymore from being up that high. I just don't.
Lee Camp said it best. That's an addiction, because if somebody had 1 billion shoes, you call them a hoarder. You call them, you've got a mental illness. You need to go see a doctor about this and talk to somebody, because there's no way you need 80 billion shoes. Okay, so what's the difference with dollars? I mean, you don't need $80 billion for anything. And I think that's what the Koch brothers are worth now, 80 billion, or maybe it's the Walmart family, one of those billionaires. Anyway. So, I mean, there's no reason you could live extravagantly for the rest of your life and never even put a dent in that. And yet we have to have people, because it's not about the money, it's about the power that comes with it. And I mean, it's just, money is just that coupon that you exchange for something. So it's not really even about the money. It's what they can exchange that money for, which is laws that make them even richer, that they can rig an entire election and never go to prison. They can murder civilians in the street and never have to pay consequence and actually still stay in office. So I mean, that's what money buys you. Money buys you freedom. I mean, I can't go on a vacation. I can't go and just hop on a plane and go wherever I want, because I'm broke. And it's not because I don't want to be broke, but I don't want to earn money at the misery and expense of others. See, if I was willing to sell people out, buddy, I mean, I could be a millionaire. You could too. Anybody could. You just have to screw over large amounts of people to do it, And that's why I don't believe the media when they say, that most of the country is a lost cause, that we're all a bunch of stupid idiots. That sounds really familiar. That sounds like an abusive relationship. That I think there's a few assholes, right? There's probably a few, there's more than a few here. But I wouldn't say that they're the majority, but they're the loud majority. They're the loud minority of people that are just assholes that everybody's focused on, when the rest of the country is probably pretty reasonable. I mean, Bernie would have won, right? If Bernie would have won the primary, well, he, technically did, whatever, which he did. If you look at, with the election and with everything they did working against him, he definitely won that primary. So, I mean, if he won that means the majority of Americans are reasonable, logical human beings, even though, we're fallible and sometimes we screw up and vote for Trump instead of, somebody that would have represented us, like Jill Stein or whoever it was. I mean, because there's other parties that we don't even hear about here, so there's a lot of good people, but I don't even know who they are, because they're not the 2 or 3 top ones. But everybody I've ever talked to when it comes to third party is basically like, well, they don't have a chance of winning. I mean, has anybody ever said like, oh, well, I mean, I'm sure it happens, but how many times do you talk to people about third party and they say, well, they don't represent my values? what do they say? They always say, well, they don't have a chance to win. That's what we always go back to. And that's why I always say, you know, same progressive is right when she says we have to have a revolution of the mind, because people need, you have capitalism that wants you to think that you're like this fucked up, flawed human being, and you need to buy their product, in order to feel better. And then you have government that wants you to feel like a fucked up, flawed human being, because you need them to make decisions for your lives, based on for your life. And so all these powerful people are always telling you how stupid and hopeless and terrible the situation is, to get you to keep voting for the same shit sandwich that is the Democrats and Republicans. I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference? I mean, where I've got kids, I spend a lot of time at parks, and sometimes you'll see two slides, and they'll come down, they'll start at the same spot, and they'll end at the same spot. But one of them will have like a little loop in it or whatever. But you still get on in the same place, and you still get off at the same place. It's just one of them will take you for a ride before you get to the end of it, and that's what the Democrats are. I mean, we have to start. We definitely need a third party. We definitely need. We need people to feel more powerful, to like just not put up with the bullshit anymore. I mean, it's so much bullshit we put up with. I don't know. I've just been so focused on that, because it shocks me the level of bullshit that people are willing to put up with in their lives. I mean, it wasn't even until recently that my sister even got political, because she's like, well, I'm not political. What's it? That's nothing I can do. I can't do anything about it, and it's too complex. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Until she found out exactly how these politicians and corporations were screwing her over left and right. And then she's like, okay, now I'm pissed off. Now I want to do something about it. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole damn country. And if you're not being screwed over now, it's just a matter of time. Like with the middle class and stuff, what they're doing with importing labor and stuff like that. I mean, if you're not being screwed, you will be. I mean, there's, what is it? It's not even the top 1% anymore. It's like the top 1/10 of 1% that's really running things anymore. I mean, they're cannibalizing each other while they're.
Hey, your mic went out. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I didn't do that.
No, oh my God, was I muted that whole fucking time?
No, just like the last 3
Okay. Like I saw the mute button. I was like, damn it.
It was like the last 3 words. But your point is very well taken. It's perfect. It's spot on. When are you going to run for office, girl? Pretty soon.
Yeah, Stevie King 2018. There we go.
There you
I'll
go.
run for
go for
dog catcher.
Let me look at the chat. I know right now the chat's going, go Stevie Red, Stevie Red, Stevie Red. Look at that. No, it's not blown up yet, but I'm just saying.
Nah, I'm too much of a loudmouth to be a politician.
But that's what we need. That we don't need people that are. All right, I'm going to say this right now. There's a price, right? Excuse me, still got the stupid cold. Everybody has a price, whether it's monetary, whether it's social, whether it's personal, whether it's family. There's prices that are out there. So at a certain point, the people that we've been voting for decades now, for quite some time, they've had their price, and they pretty much told us what their price is, and they would rather sacrifice the well-being of their constituents, their caucuses, and their voting republic than do what's needed to take care of them. They don't. I don't believe any of them care about us anymore. I think that all they're in it for is it may be pre-planned. Like when you get out of college now, it could be, you know what? I think I'm going to be a representative, make $173,000 a year, go to work like 40 days a year, or is it 48 days or something like that? It's like nothing. And then I'm going to open up my Cayman Islands account, my Swiss bank account, a few accounts in South Africa, by the way. There's some accounts in South Africa. And just everywhere, and start, you know, sifting and shuffling money in these directions. And the next thing you know, I'll be a millionaire just by running for office for a few years. And then I'll have the power to do whatever I want. And then after that, I can be a lobbyist for an oil company. And we've had Democrats that are against climate change that have been against it, but then they go work for the coal company as a lobbyist. Or then they're against Big Pharma, and then afterwards they go work for Big Pharma. They're against oil, and then, or crude oil, or fracking, and then they leave office and they go work for those guys. It's
Howard Dean. Howard Dean, that he is the epitome of what you were talking about right now. You know, the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party, you know, that was his whole thing. And now what's he doing? Smearing Bernie Sanders, smearing the voters and his supporters, you know, people that want change, the people that, you know, are just so desperate, you know, and that's what he wants to just, he sold them out. He sold them out for Big Pharma. And I'm not even sure who else he works for. It's just, you know, whoever has the money, right? Whoever's paying, that's who he'll service. So, you know, I mean, Howard Dean, he had a good message back in the day, but I guess he was like, I don't know. I guess he got all butthurt because people make fun of him because he made a weird noise one time. So now he's just on this like Hillary Clinton rampage to, you know, fuck people over, I guess. I don't even know. I mean, it's just, how do you say that stuff? How do you know? See, that's the thing. Like when Bernie was running and then, you know, he dropped out or, you know, conceded to Hillary, I was so distraught because I'm like, I can't go back. I can't go back to what I used to believe because I know too much now. And so, but then like you're abandoning, you know, like this revolution to go and support the establishment. So it's just like, God, I wish I could just, you know, go back to sleep. But that snooze button, you know, you can only hit it so many times before you're awake, but you just don't want to get out of the bed. And that's kind of where I was at when Bernie conceded. And it's just, but you just got to get up and you just got to wake up and do what you got to do that day. Whether or not you want to do it, just get up and get it over with, you know?
But you're good. No, so Joe Biden is a good example of what you're talking about. So he's another one that's been ridiculed and mocked just for being, but he's kind of strange. The guy has done some pretty weird things. So no matter, I mean, it's like, has Obama ever farted? You know, I'm sure the guy's farted or done something, right? I'm sure a lot of these politicians have made mistakes and done some stupid things. But the media is so powerful. They can make you look like such a piece of crap. They can keep playing the video or the picture over and over and over. They can definitely turn anybody from a loser into a bruiser, and from a bruiser into a loser. And that's another thing we need to talk about is and I've said this, the sword of the two-party oligarchy is the media. And if I can, let me just see if I can do this. I'm going to try to post a picture up here that I put up before. And bear with me because I'm kind of new at this. So let's see if I can share this picture. And if you can see it, if it works, that would be cool. If it doesn't, then I suck.
I kind of forgot earlier. I opened up this picture. I wanted to share it, and then I got distracted and started talking about, you know, the establishment. So, yeah.
So I put up this picture, and I do it a lot because it's real. It's the most dangerous weapon is not a gun. The most dangerous weapon is media that is controlled by a government that is controlled by the 1%. You know, and here are all your people, all the major news, supposed news outlets that are being controlled. But that's their biggest thing, is they can turn the tide on so many people. You know, they boosted as requested by Hillary, and I'm going to show you guys this because everybody's seen it 1,000 times, but I'm going to show it to you again because that's what I do. It's this little memo right here from let me get this. Did you want to put something up in a second? But this right here
Yeah.
is the Podesta file emails. And this is when they were talking about who we're going to use as the Pied Piper. And that's why I always ask these Hillary supporters out there, and these people that are still supporting the Democrats, as I say, I ask them the question, do you believe that WikiLeaks is fact or fiction? If they say fact, I show them this. They get pissed off. They call me asshole, dick, whatever, fucking piece of shit, whatever they want to call me. And they leave and never see them again. If they say fiction, then I show them the other picture that WikiLeaks has never had to retract anything. They've never had to ever, in the history of WikiLeaks, has ever had to once say that they put out false information. So they never had to retract. They never had to apologize. They never had to say they're sorry, you know, like Fox does all the time, and MSNBC does all the time. Cenk Uygur's doing now a lot. But if you can see this, and I think everybody can see this, can you see it? Can everybody see it? This is the one where they propped up the three candidates that they had to choose from was Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Ben Carson. And they chose, bingo, Donald Trump. So they just started going with him because Hillary thought he would be the easiest to beat. But like I said, she created this Frankenstein. And Peter von Frankenstein, I think was his name, was killed by Frankenstein eventually in the novel Frankenstein. Was that the original? But anyway, so that's how that happened. You know, oh, my stuff's still up? Oh, I got my stuff still up. Oh, I got all kinds of shit on it. And I posted it through After Hours, and I posted it through Anything Goes and a few others. But you know what? I'm kind of like, my brain's getting tired. If you want to keep going, I'm okay. But if it's up to you, I've kind of got to start getting ready and doing some things to get ready for you know, because I got to get up early in the morning. But is there anything that you want to say that you think would be important to the audience?
Yeah, I just wanted to share this real quick.
Okay.
Where'd it go?
To our 27 fans. Thank you guys for being on, by the way. We truly appreciate it. It's awesome. 25 now, 2 left.
There we go.
Oh.
All right, so y'all seeing that okay?
Let me see it again. Can you put it up?
Can you see it?
I can't see it. I don't know if they can see it, but I can't. All I see is me.
Yeah. I don't think it's working. I gotta back out of this crap. I messed up. How do I stop it?
We got it. It was a pool, right? It was a pool.
Well, it was supposed to be a GIF. I don't know. I don't think it's playing. Anyway, whatever. So basically what it was is like, you know, you've got this, you know, the politicians are playing keep away is what I was getting at is that's what you're left with. You're stuck in the middle, and whether or not it's healthcare, it could be jobs. I mean, that was the GIF. It was, you know, it was like basically politicians are keep away with your jobs. Like, oh, I promise you jobs. And then they throw it over to the other party. And then the other party says, no, I've got your jobs over here. And then that's how we keep going back and forth. That's why we keep getting stuck in between the Democrats and Republicans, you know, because we're just looking at this. We don't realize that, you know, they're playing keep away. You know, we're in the middle, and there's no left wing is better, right wing is better. They're on the same side, basically, is what I was getting at.
So they need another party to walk in and say, hey, that's enough of that. We're going to start holding you accountable, or we'll start taking your votes. I mean, we'll start taking a good majority of your votes. I mean, there's something you know what, I'm going to keep going because this is important. What's important to notice or know is that what they're truly afraid of is, and I'll show you a picture right here. Once everybody figures this out, and I think the reason people don't really understand this is because nobody really knows the fact of the matter. But it's coming. Hold on. Coming. There it is right here. This is why they fear us. I'm going to put this up right now. Let me get it up. Okay, so let's see if I can get this going. There we go. Share. Here we go. So we're sharing this. This is why they fear us. So Republicans, this isn't exact, but it's damn close. This is the votes. Okay. Hill Dems, 17%. Bernie Democrats, 14%. But independents, okay, and I believe this pie chart here, I would definitely go on record to say that it's grown dramatically. I would say a lot of these Burn people are in here. I'd say a few of these Republicans are in here. I'd say a few of these Democrats are in the independents now. Because they're all sick of it. They've been seeing it. They've been watching shows like H.A. Goodman, Humanist Report. They've been watching your show, of course, which is fantastic. Red in Economics, and Stevie. They've been watching Sane Progressive. They've been watching Hard Bastard. They've been watching Real News Network. I like the Free Thought Project. I like going to that site and their Facebook. Who am I leaving out? Can you think of anybody?
As far as news wise, I've been watching a lot of different people lately. Uphill Media, God's Favorite Atheist.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Graham Elwood mostly. Yeah, Graham Elwood, Jimmy Dore. Kind of looking for people with different opinions, basically, you know, than what I've got.
Independent Outsiders got a few good stuff in there, but Holly with the Zoom Politicon Animal, she's pretty cool. She's got some good stuff. Nico House, of course, Jamal Thomas, fantastic, and Tim Black. You know, there's so many great outlets out there for, you know, and even if we recommend those people, even if we recommend those YouTube sites, whatever you hear from them, check the sources. Me and you, we've just been doing kind of opinionated commentating, kind of just giving our perspective on things. But there's so many people out there that have done the research. I mean, H.A. does the research, you know, Hard Bastard does the research, you know, Sane, that lady's been involved in the political realm for about 30 years. She's been following a lot of this. She's like a computer, that lady. She's like a freaking computer. So if you ask her a question, so what happened in 1993 with Bill Clinton, blah, 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 she'll go, and she'll just go. It'll all come out. Stuff pretty quick and fast. I don't have that. What I do have is I think I have Ohana, which I think we all have. And Ohana means family. And if you've seen Lilo and Stitch, nobody gets left behind, okay? And the great thing about the Polynesians, we can be tough. Yeah, you know, we can be tough, but we're all about, you know, everybody have fun, everybody come to the luau, everybody eat, everybody together. Nobody gets singled out. Everybody's a part of the family. And when you treat everybody like that, the village is a much happier place to be at. And then the surfing is good. The surfing is always good. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I just want to say, thank you so much for being on here. You are an amazing person to have on, and to get your feedback is fantastic. I thought it was a great first show. I mean, I don't know if this will be our last, but it was a good show, and hopefully, can you add other people into this when you do it, by the way? You can? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you can add more people. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to, and I wanted to do like a Sunday. I want to do a Sunday sermon with Bella. That would be awesome. And then me and you like a couple of days a week, and then Independent Outsider. Yeah, there's so many good people that I just want to have kind of like a one-on-one conversation, kind of like what we just did. I mean, because I don't know. I love Ring Central, and I think it's great for getting ideas out there, but I'd like to explore it a little bit more in depth. I mean, because it was great getting to talk to you and getting to actually hear you really explain your ideas thoroughly without having to worry about like a time factor or whatever. So yeah, I mean, this would be awesome to do, with different people, me and you, maybe even have like a third person or somebody on like that we can talk to. That'd be, or a fourth person, whatever.
So it's good that you get to hear me babble a little more than I usually babble, and I appreciate you tolerating that. Thank you.
No, man. Seriously, I mean,
I got a tattoo on my
kind of new to all this, so I always try to listen to other people, and you've really got a great perspective. So,
as well do you. Okay, with that, I'm going to say everybody challenge your candidates or the people that you're supporting out there to ask if they want or if they support giving a third party a larger door instead of this tiny little keyhole crack that they've only been allowed to use to get inside. And my fan keeps blowing wind on my eyes, and now my eyes are getting all dry. This is why I'm kind of looking like I've got this weird, what does that look? It's like a James Brolin kind of thing going on. I got a kind of James Brolin thing. But anyway, yeah, so challenge your candidates for that. I think on Ring Central, isn't there supposed to be a candidate coming on next Wednesday? Is somebody? Could you tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, Elliot Pritt. As far as I know, I think we're using Ring Central. It's supposed to be a town hall. That's how it was originally set up. But you know how things can change sometimes. So either way, we're going to have this happen. His name's Elliot Pritt. He was running as a Democratic Socialist here for House, I think District 32. But he's recently switched to the Mountain Party, which is our version of the Green Party. And he's going to be on Wednesday, either on our main channel, Ring Central. If not, it'll be, I guess, on my channel. But pretty sure that we're going to use Ring Central with Ebon's channel. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's just an average guy that's just got kids, and basically where we're at, which is we don't want to see the world burn. So, and he's trying to prevent that.
So the commitment's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's by the way, all you guys that we just talked about, we'd love for you guys to come on Ring Central. We'd actually like for you guys to come on and talk with us. I mean, I really admire the energy from Steve Grambine and Sane and all these people out there. Real progressive, outstanding gentlemen. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say aloha. I'm going to do a little hula, a little bit of Maui time clap. One of those, just to say goodbye. One of those, and I'm out. All right. Oh, what do you just push the button? Oh, it's the button that says stop.
I know Garden loves TYT. I kind of want to do the goodbye for him, but you'll have to go to TYT for that. Sorry, Garden.
No, you can just do it. It's okay. I don't even know how to do it.
No, I'm just giving him a hard time.
Okay. And thank y'all for coming on the chat, man. That's fucking cool for you guys to show up. Aloha. Howdy and aloha.